Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining the Quacks of Quedlinburg. The Quacks of Quedlinburg is a relatively simple game. It's all about the bag building. In your bag to start with, you will have a pile of chits. You'll have these two, one orange and one green, and you'll have these 7. Notice the numbers on these. There's 1 3, 2 2s, and 4 1s. The game is played over 9 rounds. What is going to happen on each round is everyone at the same time will reach into their bag and pull one of those chits out. That chit will then get placed onto the board. If it is a 1, it will be placed 1 away from the previous marker. If it's a 2, it will be placed 2 spaces beyond the previous marker. And you guessed it, if it's the 3, it will be placed 3 spaces beyond the previous marker. I'm only pulling out the danger chits at the moment. So, what do they mean? Well, when you're determining the value of the potion, so you're building a potion just here, you could get these guys in and they'll push you a bit further forward. The value of this potion is 6. 3 plus 2 plus 1. You're just adding up the white chips, not the coloured ones. The coloured ones do something special. I'll get to that in a second. But the white ones is all you're adding up. So at the moment, this potion is fine. If I were to add one more, we would have a total of 7 within those white chips, and that's also fine. We are trying to get to 7 or stay at 7 or below 7. Anything above 7, however, so if you put another single on, suddenly the white chips are worth 8. That potion has now exploded. You're not going to get everything you could possibly have gotten. So let's just take those last 2 off. And say, for example, that he decided to stop just there. And that's right, you get to decide when to stop building. This potion has been stopped at 6. The first thing that happens once everyone has decided to stop, you'll either have exploded or you will have not exploded. The first thing is, those who haven't exploded, whoever has the highest number in terms of how much stuff they've put into the potion, will get to roll the die. The die will give them, that's 1 extra gem. So he would just grab a gem and throw it there. If it's showing that, you're pushing your starting marker forward 1 space. And that would be beneficial for future turns, because the finish point, instead of being here, would be there. You can see there's 1 point, that would be 2 points. You can roll 1 point, you can roll 2 points. You could roll a pumpkin, that's just literally add 1 more of these pumpkin chits to your bag. And I believe that is it for the rolling of stuff. The next thing that happens is that the black, then the green, then the purple chit are worked out. So those things have some special actions that happen, or special things that happen at the end of the round, not during the round. All the others have stuff that will happen during the round. Then we go down to gems, and what that's talking about is if there's a gem on the first open spot, see that little gem there? That player would get a gem. And this is for everyone. If your potion has exploded, if it hasn't exploded. All this stuff is happening for everyone. We get to the next bit. So I'm working along this track. The next bit is the points and the value. So if your potion exploded, at this point you will choose between either taking points or taking value. If your potion didn't explode, you would take both. So let's, for example, assume that the other player exploded, this player didn't. He would get 1 point, plus he would be able to purchase 9 points worth of stuff. What's the value of the stuff coming in? It's here. So pumpkin's worth 3. This one, the level 1 is worth 4. Level 1 of the little mushroom things is worth 6. These guys are all worth 10. Level 1 of that is worth 5. These top 2 are not currently available. They will become available in the next couple of spots. So on the next one, these become available. On the 3rd time through, these become available. You are only allowed to take 2 extra chits into your bag. You can choose to take 1, but you're only allowed to have a maximum of 2. So if you've got a value of 9, you may choose to take 1 level 2 from this level, which is a value 8, or you may choose to take a level 1 here and a pumpkin, which is also a level 1. That brings us up to the 9 value. So what do they do? Well, firstly, whenever you draw something out that has a number on it that's higher than 1, as you saw with the white ones, you leave space. So if he was to draw out this level 4 of the mushrooms, he would leave 3 gaps, then place the next one there. That's going to push him further through the potion. Other than that, what do these things do? I'm glad you asked. Well, the pumpkins do absolutely nothing. They just fill your potion up, they're all level 1. These red mushroom things are talking about how many pumpkins there are before the mushroom is placed. So if he had a mushroom and placed it here, there's 1 pumpkin before he's placed that, which means he would get to push that forward 1 extra spot. If there were 2 pumpkins before he placed this one, he would still only push that forward 1 more spot. If there, however, were 3 pumpkins, it doesn't matter where they are, if there were 3, he would get to push that forward 2 spots instead of just the 1. Now, obviously, if you have pulled out a pumpkin here, that's after this one's gone in, so it doesn't actually affect that one. But if one of them comes out in future rounds, suddenly this one's going to push forward 2 spots as well. With this one, the kind of pointy skull thing, if you pull out a 1 from your bag, what that's now saying is that you can reach into your bag, pull out 1 chip, look at it, go, oh, I don't really want that in my potion, and put it back in. This is the only time you're allowed to put stuff back into the bag. If you have a level 2, it allows you to draw out 2 things. You can choose to place one of them and a maximum of one of them. The other one goes back in, or you can put them both back in. And the level 4 does the same thing, but with 4 chits coming out of your bag. You choose which one to play if you want to play any of them at all. Okay, now, so I'm ignoring these top 2 at the moment just because you don't start with them. It's probably worthwhile not having them out to begin with. As we head back down, there's only 1 level of these guys. What this is talking about is if you have one of them on your board, but the player next to you does not, then you'll get to push your starting point forward 1 spot. If you're playing a larger than 2-player game, and the person on each side of you doesn't have as many as you, so this one has 1, both of them have none, he'll push that forward 1 and also get a red gem. Then we come down to the green ones, the green spiders. Once again, they are levels 1, 2, and 4. This one would do nothing, simply because it's placement within the potion at the moment. If the green one were there, because it's in either the last or the second last spot, you would get a gem once you've stopped. So that doesn't kick in until after you have actually stopped building your potion. Obviously, if it's that way around, you would also get the gem. Now, the other stuff that's going to come out on the 2nd and 3rd rounds are the yellow ones. They happen straight away. What happens with them is if one of these was pulled out after a white one, that white one will now go straight back in the bag, but that holds its position. Obviously, if that's what the board looked like and this one came out, that does not affect these white ones. It has to be the very next one to put the chip back in the bag. And the purple ones, the last ones, they get scored at the end of each round. So if you have one of these purple ones on your board, you would get 1 point. If you have 2 of them, doesn't matter where they are, you would get a point and a ruby. And if you have 3 or more of them, you get to move your counter forward 1, as well as taking 2 more points. And they're only valued to value 1. The only other thing I haven't been through is that you can use these rubies 2 at a time to move this counter forward 1. So if I have that many rubies, I can move that forward 2. All that stuff will then go back into your bag to set up for the next round. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky, a little bit interesting. I was talking about this in the original video. These rat's tails. For every rat's tail that's between you and the leader, you would gain position in your potion. So the red, by not taking any points, manages to start 2 spots further forward than his potion should allow him to do. That's a one-time bonus, so that will obviously change at the end of that next round. that would change. So maybe this one's managed to get some points, that's got some more. Oh look, now we need 3. Yeah, or red's caught up, we're only 1 further forward. When the flame gets to here, you get 1 more of these in your bag. And the only other thing, the thing that I quite often forget while playing the game, before you start drawing tokens out of your bag, you flip up the top card and whatever it says on it will happen. So sometimes the thing isn't something that's really worthwhile at the beginning of the game or the end of the game, but it happens for everyone. So that happens before we actually start taking any tokens. And the very last thing is this potion. This is a 1-use potion. What you can do is at any point up until you place the above 7 white chit, you can drink this little side potion. What that does is it flips over, so it's a one-off use. The last chit that you played goes back in the bag. So as soon as I, for example, play that one, I don't have a chance now to drink the potion to get rid of this. It's not going to work. But if my next turn was to pull out one of these, I may go, oh, I need to drink the potion now. Gone, gone. You can spend 2 rubies to flip that over instead of moving that forward. The last thing is the very last round of the game. The 9th round, everyone is supposed to deal their chits out one at a time at the same time so that you can all see exactly where everyone's up to, and it's basically the person who gets the furthest forward will most likely get the most points. Simply because the placement of that on that last one, you don't need to buy more stuff to go into your bag, so you'll get 1 point for every 5 spots. So if I manage to get up to, say, here, I'm going to get 5 points. If I manage to get to here, I'll get 6 points. And then it's 1 point for every pair of rubies you get as well. And that, I believe, is absolutely everything. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be Gamesplained, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.